Hey everybody, hope your day's going well. We are back with another reaction. Bob Dylan, Lily, Rosemary, and the Jack of Hearts. It's been a while since I checked out a Bob Dylan song. I've been watching some of his interviews, the press conference as well, just to get to know him a little better before the film comes out, because, you know, I do want to know a bit. I know a few of his songs now, and now I've seen a few interviews. So I get a little bit of a feel, at least before going into that film. And looking forward to this. Come on, let's check out this song. I hear it's a great storytelling song, so you know I'm into that kind of thing. Let's hear it.
The festival was over and the boys were all planning for a ball. The cabaret was quiet except for the drilling in the wall. The curfew had been lifted and the gambling wheel shut down. Anyone with any sense had already left town. He was standing in the doorway looking like the Jack of Hearts. He moved across the mirrored room, set it up for everyone, he said. Then everyone commenced to do what they were doing before he turned their heads. Then he walked up to a stranger and he asked him with a grin, "Could you kindly tell me, friend, what time the show begins?" Then he moved into the corner, face down like the Jack of Hearts. Backstage, the girls were playing five cards, stood by the stairs. Lily had two queens, she was hoping for a third to match her pair. Outside, the streets were filling up, the window was open wide. The gentle breeze was blowing, you could feel it from inside. Lily called another bet and drew up the Jack of Hearts. Big Jim was no one's fool, he owned the town's only diamond mine. He made his usual entrance, looking so dandy and so fine. With his bodyguards and silver cane in every herring place, he took whatever he wanted to and he laid it all to waste. But his bodyguards and silver cane were no match for the Jack of Hearts. Rosemary combed her hair and took a carriage into town. She slipped into the side door, looking like a queen without a crown. She fluttered her false eyelashes and whispered in his ear, "Sorry, darling, that I'm late," but he didn't seem to hear. He was staring into space over at the Jack of Hearts. I know I've seen that face somewhere, Big Jim was thinking to himself. Maybe down in Mexico, or a picture upon somebody's shelf. But then the crowd began to stamp their feet and the house lights a bit dim. And in the darkness of the room there was only Jim and him, staring at the butterfly who just grew the Jack of Hearts.
Yo, the way he's setting up this scene, there's a lot of tension and suspense. I really like that. You know, you come into this cabaret and then, you know, everybody's like looking, and then to the person who comes in, then, you know, they go back to what they were doing before. You know, there's drilling in the wall. There's tension, there's suspense here. I really like that. Characters are being introduced. Lily and then Rosemary, the Jack of Hearts. It's you know, this Jim character, Big Jim, he seems to be focused on the Jack of Hearts. Even his, I don't know if it's his wife or girlfriend. Sorry, darling, that I'm late. He didn't seem to hear. He didn't hear. He was just fixated onto this Jack of Hearts because he said he looks familiar or something. Maybe I've seen him down in Mexico, or a picture on somebody's shelf, maybe a mugshot, maybe a wanted poster, who knows. It's really suspenseful, and I'm on the edge. I'm literally on the edge of my seat. If you can see it right now, the whole seat is actually behind me, so it's really cool to actually feel that, like, oh, what's going on here? What's about to happen?
Butterfly who just grew the Jack of Hearts. Lily was a princess. She was fair-skinned and precious as a child. She did whatever she had to do. She had that certain flash every time she smiled. She had come away from a broken home and lots of strange affairs with men in every walk of life, which took her everywhere. But she never met anyone quite like the Jack of Hearts. The hanging judge came in unnoticed and was being wined and dined. The drilling in the wall kept up, but no one seemed to pay it any mind. It was known all around that Lily had Jim's ring, and nothing would ever come between Lily and the king. No, nothing ever would, except maybe the Jack of Hearts. Rosemary started drinking hard and seeing her reflection in the knife. She was tired of the attention, tired of playing the role of Big Jim's wife. She had done a lot of bad things, even once tried suicide. Was looking to do just one good deed before she died. She was gazing to the future, riding on the Jack of Hearts. Lily took her dress off, buried it away. Has your luck run out? She laughed at him. Well, I guess you must have known it would someday. Be careful not to touch the wall. There's a brand new coat of paint. I'm glad to see you're still alive. You looking like a saint. Down the hallway, footsteps were coming for the Jack of Hearts.
Ooh. Oh, talk about suspense. He is building it up. And I love you get a little bit of backstory of the characters too, how they almost ended, how they ended up in this situation, in this what is it? What do they call this? The cabaret. So yeah, they come there, the Rosemary, is the wife, but it seems that Lily is also involved with Jim, and Rosemary's tired of it, and she's done a lot of bad things, even try to take her own life once, and she wants to do one good deed before she died. Now the hanging judge comes in. So another character gets introduced. There's drilling in the wall. Nobody seems to pay it any mind. And then you have this music, this pace of the music, the bass, dum, 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 with the faster paced music. It's really all converging storylines right now, which I really enjoy in novels and just in story, and all the things coming together. And hopefully it'll make sense by the end to me. This is the first listen, of course, but wow. And I know Joan Baez did a version of this. We're going to be checking that one out too. So on second listen, maybe it will even, make more sense to me. But in terms of setting the scene and building suspense with introducing characters with a little bit of extra backstory is remarkable. It's impressive. In this short amount of time, we get a short story, a musical short story, with mystery. And, this Jack of Hearts character symbolizes like different things for the different characters. For Rosemary, it might be like a little bit of hope. And for Lily, it's the wild card, it's many things. That's really good stuff, man.
Be careful not to touch the wall as a brand new coat of paint. I'm glad to see you're still alive, you looking like a saint. Down the hallway, footsteps were coming for the Jack of Hearts. The backstage manager was pacing all around by his chair. There's something funny going on, he said, I can just feel it in the air.
Tension, suspense.
He went to get the hanging judge, but the hanging judge was drunk. As the leading actor hurried by in the costume of a monk, there was no actor anywhere better than the Jack of Hearts. No one knew the circumstance, but they say that it happened pretty quick. The door to the dressing room burst open and a cold revolver clicked. And Big Jim was standing there, you couldn't say surprised. Rosemary right beside him, studying her eyes. She was with Big Jim, but she was leaning to the Jack of Hearts. 2 doors down, the boys finally made it through the wall and cleaned out the bank safe. It said they got off with quite a haul. In the darkness by the riverbed, they waited on the ground for one more member who had business back in town, for they couldn't go no further without the Jack of Hearts. The next day was hanging day, the sky was overcast and black. Big Jim lay covered up, killed by a penknife in the back.
Oh.
And Rosemary on the gallows, she didn't even blink. The hanging judge was sober, he hadn't had a drink. The only person on the scene missing was the Jack of Hearts.
Damn.
The cabaret was empty now, a sign said closed for repair.
Dang.
Lily had already taken all of the dye out of her hair. She was thinking about her father, who she very rarely saw, thinking about Rosemary and thinking about the law. But most of all, she was thinking about the Jack of Hearts.
Ooh. Man, the Jack of Hearts definitely made an impression on this town and just on its inhabitants, right? She's thinking about him, and the fate of him is left ambiguous. He got away with the loot, maybe, because it seems to be a heist story. 2 doors down, the boys finally made it through the wall, so they were drilling while this was going on. This was like a type of diversion or something. And the Jack of Hearts feels like Steve Buscemi in Reservoir Dogs. He gets away too. The diamond, he gets away as well. The diamonds, who knows? Maybe Quentin was inspired by this song when he wrote that. Was that with Avery? What's his name? Yeah. So maybe, who knows? That's a great story, man. And about, as well about the facade, that everybody has, the poker face almost, hiding their true intentions in this story, like Rosemary, she's leaning, so Big Jim comes in with a gun. He wants to shoot the Jack of Hearts, I think. And the conclusion in the last chapter or epilogue even, Big Jim covered up, was killed by a penknife in the back, and earlier Rosemary was standing beside him with a steady look, in her gaze. So I guess she took care of him before he could pull the trigger on the Jack of Hearts, right? Which goes back to the good deed she wanted to do before she passed away. That's why she doesn't even blink when she's on the gallows. Like, she was determined to do that. Her one good deed in her eyes. And which is good, the hanging judge. There's a little bit of humor in there in this story too. You know, now he's sober. He was actually there before, but he was drunk. Yeah, so this is a lot of, you know, he went to get the hanging judge. The hanging judge was drunk, so he's not really responding. But the next day, he was sober, hadn't have a drink, there to do his job, but he was at the scene. Yo, whoa. Again, this is another song that needs to be listened to a few more times and get a few different perspectives from people who have been listening to it for years on end and really get the full picture, because there's a lot going on, man. Yo, the cabaret was now empty, closed for repairs, sign is on it. You know, the little bit of an epilogue here. Lily taking all the dye out of her hair. Yeah, it's a little bit of a sad ending there. You know, the town, it's changed forever. You know, the Jack of Hearts passed through and definitely made an impact on the town. You know, Big Jim is gone, Rosemary's on the gallows, Lily's just changed forever thinking about it. You know, they gone away with the bank safe, with the contents of the safe of the bank. Oof. Yo, there's a lot going on in this one. Great storytelling, great writing. You know that about Bob Dylan, the songs I reacted to previously. Yeah, incredible stuff, man. Incredible stuff. Very inspiring. Always learning a lot. And yeah, looking forward to the next one. Thank you for spending some time with me. And yeah, I'm going to be checking out that Joan Baez version pretty soon. So be on the lookout for that. Thanks for being here. Peace.